Hello and welcome. This is Stranded Deep, and today I am going to give you a full guide, tips, and just all the information you need to know about this game so you never have to search for anything else on how to play this game or what you're trying to do and how this game works and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to cover everything about this game. It's going to be a long video, and let's get into it because it's going to be a long video because there's a lot of stuff to learn about this game. So as you can see, this is an island right here, and when you start the game off, you crash your ship basically, and then you have a little yellow dinghy, and then you got to paddle to shore and then drag stuff to shore. It teaches you all that basic stuff. I won't cover that kind of stuff, but I will tell you when on your paddle there, just make sure you put your paddle back in your thing, and I'll get to that later on because I'm going to start off this video on an example of a small island. There is two different kind of islands in this game, and they're randomly generated, and it's a small island like this designated by just basic stuff on it, like as you can see here, and it has two giant crabs on it, and then smaller crabs running around there. You'll have to go kill one of the smaller ones. And I think the starter island is special, and it might not have the large crabs, I forget, but all these islands are basically the same is what I'm getting at, and the medium-sized islands have a big rock in the middle, and I'll show you that because I got my base there, and I'll reload my game once we're there. But let's get into the first tips. If you have to deal with a giant crab, the first thing you're going to want to do is you can throw your spears in this game. Once you craft them, you can just craft them with a basic stick for a basic wooden one, and you can throw them. Do not throw them on the rocks. If you throw a spear on a rock, it will break and that will be gone. Now this game has all these materials here, and they do not respawn. Only a few things respawn, like the little plant right there that you can see that you can use for your water stills to get water. And since this is a survival game, obviously, you have your health, and you have your food, and you have your water, and you have to worry about sun. You got UV index, and you have stats also in this game. You have hunting and cooking and mining, and you got your toughness and your crafting skills, and you have status effects because you do have potions and bleeds and poisons and stuff like that. So let's go around. Let's continue on with dealing with these crabs. At the start, they can be a pain. You want to try and sneak up behind him since I was in front of him. He was going to come after me, but you can just walk into the water. So this is the first tip. You can walk into the water like so, and he won't come after you. And then you can target them. So this game, to target something, you have to see their nameplate basically, right? So there's his nameplate. And now he's hitting me, right? So you go in the water, he'll turn around, and you can get behind him. Now, they can spin around like that and hit you. So if you're trying to worry about your hit points, don't be reckless like that. Just let them come to you and stay at your max range, and then you can, like I could have hit him there, right? I'm just showing you for demonstration purposes. This guy's being tricky. This is like the most difficult thing you're going to find when he's being difficult like this. But yeah, you get him like this. Once you hit him once, they might start running away like this. And if they start running away, you have a better chance of staying behind them. And as you can see there, he just clipped through that raft, but he won't go on top of the raft, and he can turn around like that. So yeah. So we'll show you with this other crab over here. He is looking, and I'll show you like how to do it without getting hurt. Basically, he is looking at that direction right there. So we have to come at him from far away to get behind him. If you hit him from behind, most of the time they'll just run away, and then you can easily hit him from behind. But it's a little trick you just got to get to using it. But you can always be safe on the water and don't have to worry about them. But you can come up slowly like this, and then you can start hitting them. And as you see, he's running away, and you're within his range, and he will eventually die like that. Nice and simple. And there's a small crab right there. They don't hurt you very much, but you can spear them like this. You have to have the nameplate pop up there. You can spear them, and then you pick them up, and then you're in their inventory. And then you can't do anything with them. You can actually drop them. Then you can skin them. And you can skin these things for food also. But let's carry on. This game is all about the resources and resource management on these islands. There's only a certain amount of stuff you can do. You can cut down these trees here. You can climb these trees too. And you can, hold space to climb. Yeah, and then you can pick up the coconuts like that if you want to. Never had to. You just chop the trees down basically. And well, it's daytime. Let's go into the daytime part because the water is the big important factor. There is going to be shipwrecks all over these islands on the outside of them, and all these islands have the basically same format, a nice big circle, and then on the outside there's a certain radius, and you can see that water right there. That means there's a wreck underneath there. So that's one way to tell there's a wreck under there. And inside the water here, there are hazards. Let's see if I can find one of the basic hazards. There is a purple starfish that will poison you that you cannot damage. So lots of these things, objects in this game, you can't damage or interact with, like this little sponge right here and these objects here. You can't actually touch them. You can hunt the fish if you want and get them for food, but I never really had to. So yeah, you can come over here and you can see the rack, and this is what the game is. Find the racks and find the things in them, and there's one right there yet. So this type of rack has one of these wooden crates. So you get the wooden crates, it has objects inside them, and all these objects are randomly generated each time you load your game up. So if you come in here and you load your game up and you see these things and you don't like this loot, you can reload your game and come back and pick it up again. But you can pick up the whole container and carry it in your inventory if you want. And so let's go around and explore the water some more. While we can see at the start of the daytime you cannot see this far, and at nighttime you can't see this far. So only in the middle of the day can you see this far under the water, and your vision becomes limited. Now on these islands there's 3 to 4 sharks, big sharks, that will come and attack you. And then those things will respawn after a couple days too. So you're never going to be safe in the water until you kill like your 3 or 4 sharks, and then you'll have a couple days of exploring in the water without having to worry. The only thing you have to worry about are these lionfish right here. A regular spear won't even hit sea creatures like this. So you have to actually have a fishing spear. And it just got darker. That means there's a storm. So storms happen like almost every day or every other day. And this shark right here is just a little reef shark, and they don't hurt you. You can't even kill them or interact with them. If you stay near the surface in the water, you're going to be pretty much safe from everything except for that shark right there. So you can come over here, and this is just a tiger shark. He's nice and slow, but he can really wreck you if you're at the start of the game. And like that, I got like max like swimming, so I can catch up to him. So the tips on killing the sharks and dealing with them is stay near these big rocks like this. They have a targeting issue where they won't come at you and bite you if you're hugging the rocks. They will also eventually just run away and stay running away if you're hugging the rocks for too long. So you got to come out in the open and draw them near you and then come back in. So the easiest way to kill them is basically just throw your spears at them. And at the start of the game, you're going to have basic wooden spears, not the extra, refined spears I have right there, which do a lot more damage, but the basic wooden spear. And where did he go? He was around here somewhere. See, I was hugging this rock, and then if they can't target you for a while, they might just say, "Hey, I can't get to you. I'm gonna go swim off somewhere else." And I wanted to kill him for you, but I can't find him. So maybe he'll come later on. Maybe we should find a wreck. I can't find a wreck in this type of storm, but let's carry on. Yeah, you need a spearfish to get rid of those lionfish if you really want to. And there are sea snakes. There's one right there. So they hover in the middle to the bottom range, and they will poison you, and you can't kill those sea snakes either. You can kill those big fish right there. They give you a little bit of meat that you need to cook. And there is a shark coming. Is that the real shark or just a fake one? That looks like a fake one. It looks too small. There you are. So there is that shark right here. You can just take him and spear him, and he didn't even react to that. He's a tough guy. Yeah, he's not even... Yeah, there you go. He's dead. So that is how easy you can get it to kill these bigger ones. The hammerheads are the most common ones, and they are a lot slower. And there's usually just one in one little area like this, and then you have to go to a different area. You can see that blue bar is going down. That's your oxygen. If you run out of oxygen, you're going to die. You need to be close to the surface, and then you can float up for a little bit. But if you're not, you will end up dying. And you can drag your objects like this as much as you want. You just got to hold the mouse button down when you're dragging them. So you can drag these things to shore, and then you can even throw them a little bit, and it's all ragdoll stuff like this. So you can drag them to wherever your campfire is, and then you can skin them with your knife. The durability on your knife does not go down when you skin stuff, which is neat. So you can skin them, you get leather, and you get meat off of that, and that's the cooked smoked fish meat right there. It's pretty effective at healing. See, I got like 4 bars I'm missing on my food, and I can eat that, and it's all full. So this food here recovers like 4 health bars of food. So all those wrecks on the in there will have parts for like an engine for your raft, and they'll have these little crates right here you can keep and then store on your raft if you want, and for your main base, of course. And this is what you do. You come in, you loot everything off the island, and you go to the next island, and so on and so forth, because nothing will respawn. You can keep getting water like this, so it can you can try and survive like that, but you're going to find objects like sticks. You can cut these trees down for your parts or whatever. And it's going to take a lot longer at the start of the game because you have skills to level up, and then you have the palm trees right here. You can pick them up there and drop them, and then they stack. All that basic stuff. But the logs right here, you can break them apart, and they come into sticks. 4 sticks per log if you are desperate to need logs. Now the other things you can interact with here are these trees like this, and they do not regrow. So you're going to be out of sticks. These do not regrow. Coconuts don't regrow. These do regrow. These are the only plants right here that do regrow, and these are the bigger versions of them. They regrow too. So this will regrow after a couple days, and you can keep harvesting for the 5 or 6 that drop. And there is a little piece of yucca fruit on here. You can't eat this. This right here is just for growing. So it's only for farming, and your farm plot, this is the only item in the game that when you grow it on a farm, it doesn't produce a seed that you can plant again. So you can't just, take one and go. And there is a potato. So see how hard the potatoes are to find? But each island should have 1 or 2 potatoes on there. You use these for fuel. And another thing to note on the fruit like this, foods that you can eat that grow like this, they expire after a couple of days. They get spoiled. Even if they're growing on the plant here and your farmlands, if they're sitting here like this for a couple of days, they expire. And then if you eat them, you're going to get sick and they'll be spoiled. But you can still use them for seeds to plant, and you can still use them in the fuel still. Potatoes are used for fuel in this game to fuel your engine. You find the parts in the water there. And this is a rock. Most of these islands will have 3 sets of these big rock formations. You need a mining pick to mine them, and it breaks it down into 6 rocks. So after you chop it down a lot, you'll get into 6 blocks. Under the water here, there is clay. So clay looks just like this, but brown, and it'll be under the water, and they'll be all in one basic area. They won't spawn all over the island. They will spawn in a certain section, say from over here, right? If one spawns over in right here, the area would be over here to over there maybe. So it'll cover a span roughly this size. And so if there's clay here, there won't be clay anywhere else around the whole island. They all spawn in one little random area, and they stay pretty much close together in that kind of wide arc. You can also you cannot interact and destroy other things like you would expect you can do, like these bushes. These bushes you can't break. It's kind of weird and annoying. You can't break them. All these rocks on the shore, you can't interact with them either. So you can't get just stones from everywhere. You got to find the stones on the ground to start with, and they'll be on it. And none of that stuff respawns either. So just be aware. And there's going to be some big trees like this, which you cannot cut down or climb, and they are just for decorations too. So you gotta watch for everything's can be decorations. It's kind of weird that I want some rock, I can't get a rock off of this. It has to be a special rock, but that is the way the game works. What else is on this island? There's also fruit things on this island. On some of the islands, it's very rare to find them. This might be 1 if you're lucky, or 2 of both of the kinds. There is one right there. So there is a fruit tree right here. There's 2 different kinds of fruit, and you can pick these up and then bring them to your... I wouldn't recommend eating these at the start because they're kind of hard to find. There's 2 different kinds, a smaller version of a tree with a different fruit, and you want to grow them on your farm, so you don't want to sit there and eat them right away just to get 1 food and 1 water bar up on there. You're going to want to build your still right away, and the building menu is just holding the C button down, or just tapping the C button down, sorry. And then you can see the building menu right here, and then you got your building tabs for buildings, and the different tabs for anything you want to build. So you can build as big as a base as you want, and you have vehicles you can build, like the raft and the different parts. And all these things have different buoyancy levels, and they don't tell you what they are, but the barrels are the best for buoyancy. The tires, I don't think, are very good at all, and this seems like a waste of wood to me. So I wait until I find these things you can carry. You can carry the buoy balls and then put them in cases. They stack up into 4, so you can carry these with you, then build your raft at any time. But these things you can't carry with you, and you can only move 1 of them at a time. And then there is your other things you can build on the raft right there. There's your farming. It's really easy to get into farming in this game, and then there's the story mode in this game. We'll cover that in a minute. And then there's the flasks. So this is the other thing you can do with objects. So you can make flask. You can have aloe slav. Never really used it because I was always played it in the daytime. When your sun is out, you go in the water and you swim around the island and you find all the wrecks and loot everything you can. Then at nighttime you stick to the island and harvest everything and stack it all up and go nuts that way. Now, the first thing you're going to want for food, besides the small little crabs they teach you, is coconuts. Now, coconuts are, when you pick them up, you can't do anything with them in this game. You actually have to drop them, and I don't know if they'll actually tell you. I think they cover the basic part in the tutorial, but when you break them apart like this, it'll take a couple shots with your basic axe at the start, then you can pick it up, and then now you can drink it. But the catch is you cannot drink more than 2 or 3 of these at a time. So I would recommend, and also it counts with eating them too. So the best thing you can do is that after to eat them, you have to actually break them apart like this. Then you can pick them up, and then you can put them in your meal, and then you can eat them. So just drink 1 coconut and eat it, and then that is it. Do not try and drink another coconut right away. If you do, you're going to have a problem. So we'll pick it up, and then we'll drink it. And I should be pooping myself any second now. Oh, I got some more toughness. So at the start of the game, you're not going to have as high toughness. I should have been out of commission by doing that. Let's try eating it. Let's see. Oh wow, that's nice. So your toughness and durability helps with that. That is a nice little add-on right there. So the third one would probably put me out. Where's a coconut tree here? Get up here. Let's show you this. At the start of the game and until later on, your things aren't going to be leveled. Where are you? Coconut. It's hard to see at nighttime when you only have shadows on. So there's a coconut. Come over here. Let's eat you. Let's drink you and show you. Is it because I'm full? It might be because I'm full. And it has, if I'm just wasting it. I'm trying to demonstrate this. I guess I got to actually have the bar on there. Yeah, so it's going to be it's hard to show you an example of something that's not happening because I'm full and it's not working. So if you're full, it doesn't work. But I just take my word for it. I guess I can't show you an example at the moment. But yeah, if you drink 2 coconuts and eat them at the start of the game, you're going to have diarrhea, and which will drain your water supply, and it'll be a status effect which will last for a minute or so. A minute or 2, and it will drain like all your water, and then you might be in trouble when that happens. But let's carry on for the rest of the explanations of this game. I think this covers basically all the basic stuff on the island hopping right here. Let's get a look at the map. Before I do that, let's cover the other basics in this game with the update. The history of this game is a long time. This is like 8-year-old game. This game was free on Epic Games like a year or 2 ago, and over a year ago, so maybe 2 years ago. I don't know when, but yeah, it was free, and then they did an update a few months after that. But everybody played that before the update, and then you play it once, you don't want to really play it again, so it lost popularity and play value and all that kind of stuff, and people don't really have any videos on the new things. And so I'll cover the new things that were added. So before there was like only 6 inventory slots, and now there is like 9. So you have more inventory slots. Meat stacks up to 8. It used to stack up to only 4, but now it stacks up to more. And before, these containers, they only had 3 slots in them. So they only had 3 slots. Now they have 5. Makes them much more useful. And you can break the containers now. You might have been able to break the containers before. I don't know, because you could not create them before. But now you can break them at any time, and you'll get all the resources back that you had them. So this crate takes 1 rope and 2 planks to make, and you can make one right there. So, and you can make these crates up and again. So there you go. That is a new function too, and also a new function is stacking. Oops, wrong button. Got to hold the C button down. Okay, I can't stack these things. You can only stack certain objects in this game, and those would be the basic things like sticks. Here, let's get some sticks. I carry there 2 sticks. That's all you need is just 2. So yeah, I can't carry that. I'm gonna drop something. Now you can carry it. Hey, give it up. So all you do is just hold the button down, and then you have this little icon right here. So this icon is new, and these are all the items that can be stacked. So then you have a nice big stack right here, and then wherever you want to place your stack of wood or rocks or leaves or whatever, or coconuts and stuff like that, you just place it on the ground, and now it's an inventory thing. Like, so you can tab into there, you go to your backpack, and you can stack more wood on there. So you can make stacks like this of every resource now. It's very handy. It also negates the fact of having a whole bunch of these things set up and shelves like that set up on your rafts. But let's take a look at the map of this game, because that's going to be an important thing. So I'm going to quit here, and there's going to be a little bit of loading times and stuff like that you might have to deal with. But I wanted to show you what the basic starter islands look like and how to navigate them, and the first tips on getting started, which is pretty basic stuff. I got hit yes again, apparently. It doesn't work on the first click sometimes. Maybe it's just my mouse. But yeah, there is no map function inside the game. You have to go out into the opening screen right here and then go to the cartographer. Now your map is a this game is a seed generated game. I don't know why they did that. They shouldn't have done that. It seems like a lot of extra work for minimum values because there's only medium and small islands in this game, and so they had like the seed to randomly generate two different things. Like why? Anyways, all these islands, your map is going to look something like this, and all these islands are placed randomly, and what's on the islands is going to be randomly generated too. And these, this is the whole object of this game, is to get off this island chains here and be free. And this is the way to do it. This is the boat icon right there. You're going to have one of these on your map. And they could be in a random location, and you got to find the airplane on there and fix it. It needs special parts, which these bosses right here, they have them. They apparently ate them or something like that, and you got to kill them and then take those parts, the blueprints for the parts, and then you can fix that airplane and get off the island once you have enough fuel to fuel it and food for your journey. You start off always in the middle of the island on the basic starter island, which is going to be the same, and you can recreate your world. So when you're starting your game, you can just create a new world and pick a map that you like. Like I did that a few times until I got a seed I liked, where I had all the bosses and stuff near one location. And you can tell by the sizes right here if they're small islands or big islands. So you can tell this is or medium. I don't classify these as big. So all these medium islands right here. So there was a medium island right there, right near the starting area, and they had the bosses in the ship all nearby. So I picked this map. So all that really matters to me is having all the bosses nearby a medium-sized island. That's my priority. You can also create an island in this game. So I had to redo this video because I forgot to mention it, and I knew you could do it, and I forgot. And you can find the people that created islands and do it somehow, but it's going to be kind of hard to find islands, and it's going to be hit and miss. And you can create your own island. The tools to do it, it takes a lot of learning, and it doesn't have everything. There's plants in there that you have on these islands, but you can't put on your starter island, and it's just a weird setup. So let's carry on and just go to play and continue off on all the tutorial stuff here and information about this game. So I'm going to load up my base. You can build your bases anywhere you want on any island, multiple islands. There's no limitations. You can build in the water too if you want. It doesn't matter. It's all personal preference. So you can build a nice huge base. And my first game, which my game was old and got removed, had like a huge base on top of like the stone pillars here. You'll see in a second, but I can't show you that. It was an awesome base, but yeah, I spent a whole bunch of resources on doing it. I like searched like every island in the game to get all the clay I could. So I was on top of a rock pillar like this, and that island had like 3 of them, and it was covered the whole thing. So I had 3 rock pillars on it and covered the whole thing. This is just my base right now. It is just a basic square type thing with cargo containers and brick floors and foundations. So these are the bosses. After you kill them, you can create the trophies. In this game, there's the giant mag and the giant eel, and this is supposed to be the giant octopus trophy right here. You got to kill those 3 bosses, and then you can unlock these things right here, and then finish the game. I have a video I'm going to put on tomorrow that has all these 3 bosses and at the end of the game if you want to watch that. If you don't want any spoilers for the end of the game, just I cover that near the end, and I say there I'm done with the bosses, that don't watch the ending. And one of the islands you can find this, a tribute to Wilson. So you have your own little, volleyball guy there with his face on there you can find and bring there. Another thing to note, your bed that you can create, you can pick it up too and move it. So if you really want to, you can try and put this on your raft and keep it on your raft and then maybe save your game. I've never tried it, but it is something you can do if you want to save your game in the water before you fight the bosses. It might work, but it could be really buggy and glitchy. As you can see, I just wanted to build this place and I didn't do anything else after that because I had other things to do. So this is a basic format of bases. Got stacks of wood and ingredients. This is the still right here. Yeah, I got food I need. But yeah. So let's see. One of the first things you're going to want to build is on your thing is a smoker. So the difference in the meat is once you cook some meat like this and you have it smoked, cooked meat will spoil after a day or so, and then that's just wasted, right? You wasted your meat. You can eat it, but you'll probably get sick. And if you get sick, your food and health your food and your water go down super fast. You don't want to do it. But if you can smoke all your stuff and smoke your meat, smoked meat will last forever. It never goes bad. So you can smoke your meat and it will never go bad. And a smoker will hold like 5 different stacks, and you can still put another one on top of the fire. Now, if you're worried about your resources at the start of the game, oh, there's my axe. Okay. If you're worried about resources when you're on your first island and you're worried about your food like that, you want to bring a little bit with you, you can break these things down, right? So it's really easy to break them, and you get all your resources back from this. So I can pick up all of these resources and then I can just rebuild it again. If you're worried about your rocks because you need to make some real spears, you can break them and then you'll get your rocks back for your rock pile. And like that. So when you're leaving the island, you can totally scrap everything and then bring it with you inside the crates and on your dinghy. So there's the dinghy right there that you start with. Sharks can hit it and knock it over. So yeah, sharks can knock over your rafts and your stuff like that. A big raft like that, it can't do it. But yeah, this is the paddle. Make sure you put your paddle back onto here, and you start off with a little bit of inventory space right here for the food and the compass they give you. But yeah, and there's the fishing spear right here. Let's pick it up. So we can pick up the fishing spear and chuck it at stuff, and there you go. And then you can pick it up. That's all you do. That's all you do. You saw that with the sharks. I don't want that. Go stick in the biggie. Yeah, these are the pigs that keep respawning on the island and die every 3 days. And this is the medium-sized island. So those pigs will respawn every couple of days. You do not have to harvest them. Same with the crabs on this island. You don't have to harvest them. They will sit here and be here forever. They don't despawn, and they have all their food and their leather on them. And there's the regular-sized one. And there's the giant and the crab. And these medium-sized islands also have snakes. And the snakes are going to be hard to see, so you can't just run around and just not worry about it. But they will spawn in basically the same general location as they did the first time. And then I just basically, since the snake meat is just a small meat and it's kind of a waste of time to worry about it, I just leave the bodies on the ground wherever I find the snakes and then chuck them to the side. So the snake might be up in here. They will hiss at you and they'll curl up in a little ball, and that's the perfect time to spear them. And then you have your snake right here, and that'll just give you like 1 or 2 small meats. And then you just designate it here. So hey, I'm coming around here. Oh, the snakes are going to spawn around near here. Just be careful and walk slow until you kill them. And then once they're dead, don't have to worry about them for 2 days or so. And this was my testing for coconuts. They don't respawn. I left these on here for over 50 days after I harvested the coconuts. But yeah, you want to start your farm. You want to try and get to your medium-sized island. It's the best place to start your main base, basically. And you want to start your farming experiences going, because you want to get your potatoes planted and growing, so you can put them in your still and get fuel and do a real raft. And we're going to do the rafts after I cover the farming, I believe. So yeah, the farming is basically simple. It's just 2 planks, and you need your hoe, and you make these things up. Now, watering your plants you might think that's an issue, and it can be an issue, but all these storms that happen like every other day, they fill these plots full of water, almost full of water. These plots will hold 8 units of water, and so you don't want to use the smaller version of plots. You want to use the planks or the corrugated cardboard ones, and then stick your resources in here. Now, I haven't come back in here for a while, and it says it's okay. This potato says it's okay, but it might be rotten. Let's come over here and see. Let's pick it up and find out. No, it's not rotten yet, so I can eat it. But yeah, these things will rot for you. Then you can just stick it in your still, and then you get fuel, and that's basically simple. That's not too hard. These are the other plants you can find. You got aloe, and that's for your sun resistance. Never really had to use it very often because I just go in the water to worry about that. Potatoes, I recommend you making up to 8 of these things, just so you can have a lot of fuel and don't have to worry about it. Build up to 8. You only need like 2 of these, it makes a potion, and 1 of these each make a potion. This is the example of the poison plant right here, and it's really hard to see. Okay, it may not have one. I might have picked it, but it's a little yellow seed thing right there, and this is used for a potion for an antidote. I can pick it up. There it is, right there. That little yellow thing right there. So these things are hard to see when you find them on the map. But yeah, you pick it up, and that's for an antidote. And these purple ones here, you can't. These are the ones that you can't place inside the map building thing, I believe. So that's kind of sucks. You can make your own cool island, and you can only make the one, but you can't place these things on there to have them. So you got to find them from some other island, and then farm them that way. But yeah, those are for extra breath. It makes you last longer underwater. Kind of helpful at the start. There's no real other use to use them, so you might as well just do them at the start. And these are the 2 different kind of fruit trees right here. The one you saw already, and the other one. This is what they look like, and they will grow fruit. And these are the I already harvested those, so these might grow back at any time during this video. They might just grow back and have the fruit on them. But these two fruits combined make an awesome potion. If you are able to do that right away, it'd be helpful. And here are right there it is, the Gauze potion. So this acts as a bandage and a healing item. So it's like a mini healing. It heals at least 2 bars of health for you. You can't just chug them down one after another. You have to. It has a little duration on it before you can use it again. So you can't just go nuts. But it's still nice and handy to have 4 of these on you at all times if you're worried about dying and stuff like that. I never bothered doing it. This game has the magic, save the game, reload the game function. So if you're in trouble, you just do that. But when you drink these potions, you get your coconut flask back. And to make a coconut flask, I showed you the other part right there. All you need to do on a coconut flask is to have a rope, which is 4 of these things, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can just do that, and then you have a rope, and then you have your coconut, and you can just right there, coconut flask. That's easy to make them, and these ones you can drink as much as you want. So out of a coconut flask, you can drink as many of these as you want, and you won't get sick. And you can use these to fill them up too. They're storage devices for water. And they are used to make potions. If I don't have any ingredients. Yeah, there I do. Yeah, so if I want to make a breath potion, I have it. There we go. I got no coconuts in my inventory, and I will drink it.
This will come in handy.
And I'll have it back. So yeah, nice and handy. And then now that's on my thing right here, breath boost. And that'll last for a couple minutes. You can hold your breath for longer. You still have to go up to get surface to get air and stuff like that. So the next important thing on this thing, I think, to cover other than the basics of your stuff that you can build and rebuild is the raft. Now this, if you want to know what this is the helicopter. If you want to get this helicopter thing right here, you have to go to this big ship right here. The parts are only on this thing. It has 3 of them, so you're going to find 3 unique parts on this ship, and then you can build your helicopter. It guzzles gas, it's slow, and then of course it has no inventory on it to store stuff, so you only can use your own inventory. But since they increased your inventory to 9 slots, and they increased these things to 5, and you can carry a whole bunch of these things on you, you can probably steal a lot from an island just by doing that if you're targeting resources. But here is an example of a raft right here. You can pick them up and move them around. Try and get look at the underside of it. No, yeah, but you can move them around and ragtag them. And let's go into raft building tricks. So the first trick you can do is once you place your motor, you can place another unit of floating devices on top of it, underneath it. So the motor is supposed to be sticking out this way. So this one right here is one that's where it's supposed to be open, but you can cover it. So you can cover this and have extra space on your raft. Another trick to raft building is since you're going to be driving it and the direction you're facing when you start the engine is going to be this way. So this is forward, and you want to be able to see everything when you're driving around. So that's why I have no storage containers on this side of the raft. And what I did was, instead of just having your raft, your motor at the back of the raft, have your motor near the front of the raft, and then so you can store everything back here, and then have lots of storage area, and you will be able to see. And it doesn't matter. The speed of the rafts and the turning radius of the raft are determined by how many units of flotation devices you have on there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for this one here, and it's 4 for the long ways. So this is 4 by 5. The speed of the raft is determined by the length of the raft, and the turning radius is by the width. The speed might be by the width too. I've never tried going over 3 at once, so you can try that if you want. You can go with a 5 by 1 raft and see how it turns. But the speed it doesn't go down very much. It used to. Before, you can have multiple motors on a raft and start a motor up and then start another motor up. You can't anymore. That is the older version. This version here, the motors work a lot better for just one. So one motor is good enough to go nice and fast on your raft, so you don't have to worry about it. The buoyancy on the raft matters for sinking into the water and for the size. And of course, these ones are the best, and those ones there are the second best. Now, most of the things in the game you can destroy. So you can destroy the fort right here, and you'll get 2 bricks back. But if you destroy the barrel base right here, you'll only get 2 barrels back. It's very disappointing, since barrels are a pain. You can only move 1 barrel at a time, so that's also can be a pain. And you need 3 to build a raft unit. Now these raft units have to be attached to your raft as you're building it. so which makes it more difficult. So you can't carry the barrels. You can't put in your inventory. You can't pick up barrels. You can't stack them in your inventory. You have to drag them around like a giant pig, like that. You have to drag them around like this, and so they're going to be harder to build to bring to your base. And stuff on the raft, it doesn't. There's no. These things are like don't count as objects to go through. So you can't build other things on the raft if you're trying to build a foundation or walls or anything. They won't build on the raft. All these objects on the raft are, walk right through. So it's kind of weird and how they did this. But yeah, you can just walk right through all these objects. They don't work to block anything. They don't really work to block anything. So let's take something big and movable. How about the dinghy? See, if you want to bring your dinghy to a different island, that is something you want to do. You might want to do later on. Okay, get over here. Now it might be stuck. So you bring it over here and you stick it in the middle. And so this will have an effect right here. So these objects will be blocked by it, but you are not. So this object is getting stuck by it. So that is how you move these bigger objects. So you can do this with barrels, and then you can try and block this off with other things. Now, does this light stand work to block it? Yeah, it does. Okay, that's nice. So the light stand will work to block it also, if you don't want to use boxes. So all these objects will block, and that is how you can move container walls too. Those yellow container walls, you'll find those container things on random islands here and there, and you just break them apart and as one section of wall at a time, and you can put them on your raft. But that will affect the buoyancy of your raft, and if you have too many of them, your raft will start sinking. And if it's a smaller raft, you're going to have problems. And smaller rafts, of course, sharks can bug you, and that thing can fly really good. But yeah, so let's cover the other tips. The other thing I was going to mention about breaking them apart, you can break apart these booyah balls, and you get all 5 of them back and the rope to create them. So you can break these apart anytime you want. So you can start your raft off with these things here, break them apart, and then stick them with the barrel bases for a good professional raft as you explore the islands. Because on these islands here, you might find 1 or 2 sets of 3 barrels. You'll find them in sets of 3. And there is a trick to building these things. Okay, I got my rope, and I got a hammer. There we go. And one of the other tips right here, and I got some booyah balls in here. There's 5 right there, so that is enough to build one. And since these things roll around a lot, let's find a nice location. How about inside this raft? That'll do it. I should hold them. When you're dropping things, they might go flying. Yeah, see, if you're dropping items on top of other items, they don't like it. And they might go flying off somewhere. Same when you break stuff. So that once they're all close together like this, say you have the 3 barrels under the water in one of the shipwrecks, you break them apart, and then now you can interact with them and build them. You got a rope and a hammer on you. You can hold down the mouse button, and it'll automatically come up with building stuff. So you can build your raft. So now I can build this raft part. If I build this raft part, I cannot place it on the raft. You can't pick this up and attach it to the raft. I wish they would have done that so you can pick these up and then make your raft later on. But they have to be attached to your raft like this. And as you can see, the barrels or the things are over there. And if the barrels are underwater and you can build, you just put them in your build menu and then run over to where your raft is. You don't have to carry 3 barrels at a time. You don't have to carry 1 barrel at a time and take all 3 of them and chuck them, take all 3 of them and try and pick them up and chuck them like the ragdoll them over to where your raft is. No, just build them like this and then run up to where your raft is and then build them like that. And they automatically teleport. The same thing with the those sheets there. It doesn't work with everything though. It works with these bigger buildings, like for the raft bases and the big corrugated shelves like that. So you don't have to carry those big things around on your island if you're going to build. If they had them, I had 3 big containers here, so I decided to build my walls out of those nice little red things there for something different to do. Since they are right there, but I didn't carry them. I just used that building trick to move them over there like that way. Same with the raft. Now the raft functions like this. If it's not buoyant, if it's what I'm trying to say here is if your raft is not equally squared off, this side right here the raft will turn more to this side right here. So it'll keep turning to the left if I'm going this way. It'll keep turning to the left more often. So you got to be holding the right side just to go straight. So that affects your turning radius, as does the width, and the speed is the other thing right there. And you might want to build a canopy on your raft for your standing, so you're out of the sun while you're traveling around, and you don't have to worry about that. And of course, this anchor is really handy. You can put these anchors anywhere on the outside of the map, and then you just, well, I can't drop it here, but you just drop it down, and your raft will stay where where it is. Doesn't matter where it is. Also, to note, the water flow on the islands on this world is always the same. So it's always going to be going in the same direction. So when you chuck something in the water that floats, you float. Hey, did I pick you up or something? Go over here. Whee! Okay, that was a little bit big of a throw. I do not think that floats. Okay, that does not float. Anyways, but if you have balls and barrels that float and stuff like that, these things will float in the same direction. Same with your rafts. So everything will float in one direction. So that might be something you might want to worry about later on. Get over here. I don't care about these things. Not going to save my game here. But yeah, they will all float in the same direction. So you can build your base on the direction where the water is flowing towards. So everything that happens on your base, on your base there, or whatever island you're on, you can land on the direction where the water is flowing. So if you drop anything in the water or something like that, it'll just go towards where your base is and hit the shore there, instead of going off into the sunset and saying bye-bye to your ingredients or anything else that floats. What else to cover on the rafts? You can have the little light stick on the raft, and there's not much else you can build on these rafts besides these containers right here. These containers, you can destroy them. They make no sound. They are weird. So there's no sound. There's no hit bar on these shells, but they are getting damaged and they will be destroyed. The disappointing part is there's no resources. They just disappear. You lose your 3 planks of wood when you destroy them. So if you make a mistake, you can do it, but you're gonna lose out on the wood. No big deal. Another cool thing is, now that it's nighttime, the lamps. These are like the best loot in the game. Basically, these lanterns that I feel, because they're just handy because you're going to want to search stuff at night. If you have a ton of these, you can just cover your whole island with them. Or you can bring them and put them on your boat as much as you want, but you pick these up and you carry these around. These things are like automatic light source. They come on automatically at nighttime, and you can turn them off manually if you want. And of course, they provide good light. They work underwater also, so you can have these things and go searching underwater, but the radius isn't very good, so you can't really see very far. But it's good enough, I guess, if you're in a pinch and you want to search for stuff at nighttime. But these things are really handy. The light stands are really nice to have them on there, and it's just really nice to have them. So if you want these things, you can. This is like one of the best loot lamps. Another loot thing right here that you can build is a bird snare. The island has to have birds on them. You have to actually see them. They'll be flying around in flocks, and you have to see them. And at nighttime, it'll be bats. But if your island doesn't have them, you can't. This bird snare is useless. That's just what it looks like. There's also fish traps, and fish is basically useless to get to, because you're going to have giant crabs for food at the start, and that's going to cover you pretty effectively. And then you get to a medium island and you get these pigs. There's going to be one giant hog, and there's going to be two of these regular ones usually, if it's not bugged, and there's going to be 2 of these. So you're going to have lots of meat sources. And then it's also about the sharks. Since there's always 3 to 4 sharks right off the bat when you're searching out the island, you got to kill them off. So you kill them off, drag them ashore, and you skin them and stuff like that. And we'll go on to the skinning. So the giant pigs here have 4 leather. The sharks usually have 3 leather each and 3 big meat. And these ones have 2 big meat. And these ones have 2 leather and 2 meat. And 2 medium meat for those 2. Medium, large. And the leather you can use on your leather thing right here. You can break your tanning rack apart, so you can build it right away. And you need them. You need the leather for your leather straps for your tools, like your pickaxe and stuff like that. But yeah, this just goes into leather straps, which are handy for everything that you need for your spears and your tools for later on. Now, the other thing is you have to worry about is your resource management, and unless you want to go into like search out like every little island and do stuff like that. So I recommend let's go to the menu here. For your tools. So let's cover it. All these tools, you don't have to use your knife for anything except for skinning, so you're not going to need to build more than 1 knife in this whole game. Just 1 knife, and just don't use it for anything else besides skinning, and it'll stay forever. The crude axe, you're just going to need 1 or 2 of those before you have enough ingredients to build leather. Same with the crude hammer. You're only going to need 1 of these throughout the entire game. Because these things are used to make just 1 thing. That's it. And then you're going to find those reinforced hammers that you see there. A lot of them. They're all over the place. They're in those carts, and you're going to find at least probably 10 of those carts throughout the game. per island. So you're not, and then you're gonna have like at least, you know, 1 or 2 per, and the durability doesn't go down on the refined ones very much. You just need one of these, and you can fix the durability on these too. Keep your crude axes. Don't let them go down to 0% durability. Leave them at low, and then just keep them in your inventory and store them for later on until you have the resources to build the refined axe, because they take a stone axe to build. And if you use them, you get your durability up to max on your refined axe. And keep your refined axes also. Don't let the durability go down to 0 on those. Just keep them for later, because these things are used to build your planking station. And the planking station, we'll go over here, is a very fundamental tool. It just requires, you know, that refined axe and the crude hammer, and then these other resources. If you break your planking station, you get these resources back, and you can use any durability of an axe. And I will show you this little trick right here. I got 20% durability left on this axe. I don't want to, I have the resources, but I don't want to keep wasting resources when I can just do this. When I can break it apart, and I can pick everything up. Oh, auto run. And if I can see it, get over here. It's kind of tricky when it has phased stuff like this. So you get all your resources back. I now have that axe is at 100% durability. Let's drop it. I'll show this movie a little bit farther away in case it wants to automatically use you. So this one here has 20%, and there's the rope right there. And now we will build a planking station once again, because we got everything back, and we build it. My axe disappears, and we have it right back here again. We'll destroy it again, because, you know, why not? We'll pick up the axe, and it is at 100%. There you go, 100% durability. And as we're in inventory here, you can check your spears actually have durability too, I believe. Yeah, you have to see it on one at a time to see it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, but your spears, I don't know why the durability is up so high on these ones. I'm pretty sure I used them already. But yeah, to switch your inventory around and your stacks of items, in case your smoked food and cooked food and raw food all stacked together, it all depends on the size. So make sure you're picking the right one, and use the middle mouse button to scroll through these numbers. So that's what the middle mouse button does, to scroll through these things to pick the ones that you want. So I got smoked large meat versus smoked large fish meat. So I can pick up this one here and then eat it if I want. And it just goes to a randomly next one, and you got to take a look at it and see what you're getting. And that is one of the nice little tips there to get your hammer and your refined axe durability up if you're worried about resource management on those. So that is a neat little thing I discovered. And what else do you need to know to help you on your journeys? Yeah, you can just save it anywhere you want, sleep to the daytime, destroy everything, harvest everything. Yeah, I think that covers everything there is for the basics. You know, I have 4 water sills, as you can see, to feed the farms in case I'm running out of water, but the storms feed them up there. You're going to want to, you know, make sure you actually put water in them at the start. So, you know, 3 or 4 water units, 1 flask. That's why I had the whole flask thing there. And there is the fruit right there. It's regrown. I picked it earlier. So you can pick this up. And then these ones here might be rotten by now, the potatoes. Where is it? Spoiled potato, yeah. So yeah, that's an example of them spoiling. After a few days, if you neglect them, they'll be spoiled. So you can only eat fresh stuff. Those things will spoil too. Yeah, so yeah. The brick station. This thing stays alive forever. This fire right here. So you can use these stations right here for light sources if you want. If you want to make a neat thing and maybe build around them or something like that to make a nice colorful flame light on your bases if you want for decorations. But yeah, you just takes clay to build your bricks. That's all basic stuff that you don't need to worry about, because you don't even need bricks in this game to do anything. Ah, crap. Phone call? Really? Yeah.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm calling from Statistics Canada. My name is Jerry Wong. I speak with an adult member of the household.
Can you call back in 10 minutes?
Sure, try back in 10 minutes.
Okay, bye. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't want to start the whole video over again because of one phone call, but I gotta end it. So yeah, got a video for killing the free bosses. I think I covered everything, all the basics, you know, stacking and blah blah blah, all the neat stuff you can do in this game, and how to beat it, and just go with your survivals and enjoy it. So thanks for watching, and boss video is next if you want to know how to kill the bosses or what they look like and stuff like that. But I hope you enjoyed this video and it was informative and you learned everything you need to know about this game. Yeah, I think I covered everything. Oh, I didn't cover the tool belt. So yeah, you can build a tool belt in this game also, and it is just a hotkey thing. So once you have it, you have the hotkeys down there, and to use that, you got to hold the button down. So I'm holding the one down, and it takes a couple seconds. So you got to hold these buttons down for a couple seconds to have them work. But if you drop them and you pick them back up again, they are no longer on your toolbar. That's why I never use it. I never used the toolbar because it just takes a little bit extra time to put them on there, and then you just get used to holding tab and circling through this way to grab stuff. And I don't even know why Y doesn't even work. It's supposed to be Y to switch items, or is it U? Yeah, it's not working. It says it's supposed to do it, but it doesn't. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.